What's up, guys? I'm Chase Brogan, and today in this video we are diving into a 500 gigabyte hard drive right here that is loaded with over 14,000 games. I recently found this on AliExpress for just 35 bucks. They're advertising Nintendo Switch on here, PS2, PS3, Xbox, and so much more. So we're going to unbox this, take a look at the layout and design. We're going to plug it into my PC, tour through everything that it has to offer, dive into some games to check performance. Let's dive into it. All right, guys, here is the box that it comes in. Go ahead and open this up. We've got a 2.5-inch enclosure. Inside that enclosure, we have our hard drive. It says right here, Seagate, 500 gigabytes. So it is good to see that this actually has a name brand hard drive inside here. It's a 2.5-inch. So we'll set that aside. We have some information here. We have a business card that just says thank you from PPRIT. We also have a removable hard disk operation manual. That's for the enclosure itself. Inside here, we also have a cable connection. This is how we're going to plug this in and, of course, connect it over to our PC. So Type-C on one side, USB-A on the other. Type-C is going to plug in right up here at the top. That is the only connection that needs to be made here. Other end is going to plug directly into our PC. Now, there also is these little foam padding pieces here, which you can actually go ahead and secure your drive inside the enclosure with those. But as you can see here, it is a tight fit. Nothing is shaking around or rattling or anything like that. If there's ever a loose fit, you just simply go ahead and stick one of these inside there, and it takes care of the empty space. But no empty space here. Seems to be ready to go. Let's plug it in and fire it up. All right, guys, here we are loaded up into our all games list. We have 14,778 total games on here. We're going to jump to all games. Left-hand side, we have our text list. Right-hand side is going to populate in different screenshots for each of the games. So you can see here, very easy to navigate. Seems to be in alphabetical order. I'm not seeing any blatant duplicates. Like, yeah, there's multiples of each title in some cases, but it's different versions for different console collections. So we're going to back out of the all games list. Favorites collection, that's going to be a custom collection that you set up yourself. That's going to give you the ability to access games readily available to you on a regular basis. So always good to take advantage of the favorites collection. Next below that is main. Inside here we have 1,908 games. If we go in here, you can see same layout as the all games list, text list on the left, screenshots on the right. And let's go to our select button on our controller. And once we do, we're going to go down to the jump to section right here, and we're going to move this to, let's go to, we'll go to X, because I actually want to see if there's WWF games on here. So we'll go to X because right above that will be the end of our W's, and we have Superstars, we have WrestleFest, and we have WrestleMania in here. So always cool to check that out. And matter of fact, let's see what else is in here. Do we have, let's go back to our jump to. Let's go to M. I always look for Michael Jackson's Moonwalker. For some reason, I love that game. I mean, it's a great game. It's not a mystery as to why I love it, but it's not always on these. So I always find it to be, a good title to kind of seek out and see if it's included or not. So there we go. Michael Jackson's Moonwalker right there. So with that game count, which is again 1,908, we should have most of our main games that we're looking for. Now, next collection is Atari ST, 2,135 games there. We have Atari Lynx with 75 games. We have Commodore 64 with 2618, so that's a pretty deep collection. We have original Xbox, just 6 games here, but let's see what we have. We have Burnout, we have Capcom versus SNK2, we have Fable, The Lost Chapters, we have Forza Motorsport, we have Grabbed by the Ghoulies, and we have Halo Combat Evolved. Ironically, this is the exact same collection from another drive that I recently reviewed. It wasn't a Batacera setup, but this is an identical collection inside Xbox. And, it gives you a sampler of what Xbox emulation has to offer. Those are good titles, but I'd, of course, want to expand upon that. Next, we have PC Engine, which is 2 games. And these look like the games that are just stock on Batacera when you flash Batacera fresh. We have NES with 1,166 games. You see the layout in here is consistent with those other collections. And let's see, do we have our Super Mario games? Let's just go over to S. Oops. So we can move over to S, and we should be able to locate that. I suppose we actually, let's go to T, because that'll be closer to where we need to be. Now from here we can go up. And we have Super Mario Brothers, original, the second, 2 of the third. So looks to be pretty complete here for NES. We'll back out. We have Game Boy next with 859 games. We have Super Nintendo with 2106, which is just too many games for that collection. Let's take a look. And yeah, we're seeing why. There's two different versions of Real Monsters here, the European as well as US versions. ABC Monday Night Football, there's the Japanese version as well as the US version. So it does seem like they have different versions of a lot of their games. Adam's Family, same deal, European as well as US. To each their own with this. For me, it's just more clutter in my opinion. So I'm not crazy about when they do collections like this because I don't know many people that have ever said, "Oh, I want the European version. I won't play the US." You know. So next collection is N64, 308 games here. And inside here, it looks pretty clean so far. It looks like mostly US, not all US titles, but seems to be predominantly United States games here. We have, let's see, do we have the cruising games? We do. Excellent. I see Diddy Kong Racing. I see Donkey Kong 64, Doom 64, Dr. Mario. Let's go down to M titles, and let's just make sure that our Mario games are in here. There we go. They should be right near the top. There they are. Mario Golf, Kart 64, Mario Party 1 through 3, Mario Tennis, and then we jump up to Mega Man 64, and so on. Now, some of my favorite games are the wrestling games, so let's just double check that those are in here as well, both WCW and WWF. But yeah, I mean, I think that Revenge is one of my favorites for sure, so that's in here, luckily. And then also, I keep hitting the D-pad right, which will take you through your different collections over here. But let's go back to N64. Sweet, we have Attitude, we have No Mercy, we have Warzone, and we also, of course, have WrestleMania 2000, which is one of my favorites. That and No Mercy are the best for WWF games on the N64. We'll back out. Next collection is Game Boy Color with 596 games. We have GameCube with just 10 games. Let's see what games. We have Metroid Prime 2. We have NCAA Football, Resident Evil, the original, just regular Resident Evil, plus Resident Evil 4 here. Both are 2-disc games. We have SSX3, The Legend of Zelda, The Wind Waker, and Beautiful Joe. Also very similar to the recent plug and play that I reviewed as well. So not all these collections are identical, but so far Xbox and GameCube have been. We have Game Boy Advance here with 1,133 games. We have Nintendo DS with 32 games. We'll take a look inside here. We got some GTA in here. We have some Chrono Trigger. We have some Mario and Sonic. We have some Mario Kart DS, Mario Party DS, Mario vs. Donkey Kong 1 and 2. We have some Metroid Prime. We have some Pokemon in here. Zelda looks to be pretty stacked. Next, we have Original Wii, which is 9 games. And we have some pretty sweet games in here. We have some Zelda, some Metroid Prime, some Super Mario Brothers. We have some Resident Evil, Super Mario Galaxy 1 and 2, Super Smash Brothers Brawl. Good stuff. 3DS is the next one with 11 games. And we have Mario Kart 7 in here. We have Metroid. We have Super Mario 3D Land, Super Smash Brothers from Nintendo 3DS, some Zelda at the bottom. Looks like good stuff in there as well. Wii U is next with just 5 games. We have Bayonetta, Pikmin 3, Rayman Legends, Super Mario 3D World, and Super Mario Maker in here. Next, we have Nintendo Switch, which is 7 games. Celeste, Hollow Knight, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, which is obviously, I think, just about everybody's favorite Switch game. Super Mario Brothers Wonder. We have Super Mario Odyssey. We have Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom, as well as Breath of the Wild. Moving on, we have 3DO with 19 games. We have some ports in here. I believe these are just the stock ports. Yes, they are. We have Genesis in here with 946 games. We have Mega Drive with 1 game. I bet it's that stock game. Yep, Old Towers comes on Bottasera when you flash it fresh. We have Sega Game Gear here with 335 games. We have Sega Saturn in here with 25 games. Let's take a look at Saturn. Command and Conquer, Dark Light Conflict, Dragon Force. We got some Resident Evil. We got some Sonic Jam. We got some Street Fighter. We got some Virtua Cop. We got some Tomb Raider in here. Virtua Fighter. A couple of those. Street Fighter Alpha 2 at the bottom. So pretty decent. Mega Drive 32X, 35 games inside here. Just like the usual games. Model 3 now from Sega, 12 games in here. Alright, so Daytona USA 2, Battle on the Edge, as well as Power Edition. Looks like we have some good stuff. The only thing that I can see that we're missing, actually there's 2. There's the Jurassic Park game is not present in here, and the Star Wars arcade is not. Star Wars Trilogy arcade is not present in here. So, missing a few titles, but I do like that it's clean. There's not duplicates of each of these. Even Daytona USA 2. Those are different versions of Daytona USA 2. So, Very nicely put together for Sega Model 3. We have Dreamcast with just 14 games. Good selection. Crazy Taxi 2, Dead or Alive 2, Marvel vs. Capcom 2. Looks like they went for the sequels here. House of the Dead 2. Sonic Adventure, they have the original. So good selection. Virtua Tennis, they have the original. Good selection of titles, but yeah, I mean, it still leaves quite a few of them here, off the table, which I'd love to see more Dreamcast games. They don't take up a ton of space, and there's so many great games out there to choose from. So back out. Next, we have Sega Naomi with 77 games. Sega Naomi here has some great titles. We have 18-wheeler, American Pro Trucker. We have some Capcom versus SNK titles, Cannon Spike. We've got Crazy Taxi. We've got, what else? Dead or Alive 2 Millennium. Giant Graham 2000, Giant Graham All Japan Pro Wrestling 2, bunch of Guilty Gear titles. We've got Marvel vs. Capcom 2, Power Stone 1 and 2 at the bottom there, and I hope we have Royal Rumble because that's one of my favorites for this collection. We'll be down there quite a ways, I would imagine. We have Virtua NEA, which is a great game. Virtua Tennis 2 is over here. So even though we didn't have it in Dreamcast, we do have it over here, which is cool. There we go, Royal Rumble right there, and Zombie Revenge is a great game too. Next we have Sega Naomi 2, 12 games over here. Now this I don't always see on Plug and Play, so it's cool to see this. Soul Surfer jumps out at me, I love that. The Virtua Fighter games are always great. Virtua Striker 3 is great. Wild Riders is a fun one as well. Kind of like a Road Rash in some ways. So back out, we've got Neo Geo with 140 titles. We've got original PlayStation with 61 titles. We've got PS2 with 19 games on here. So Bully, Devil May Cry 3. We've got some Final Fantasy, some God of War, some Madden, some NBA Street V3, some Resident Evil, Shadow of Colossus is in here, Silent Hill 2, SSX 3, Tekken 5, Virtua Fighters. Virtua Fighters is all over the place on this setup today. So back out, we've got PSP next with 69 games inside here. Burnout Legends to start it all off. Some Dragon Ball Z, some FIFA, some Final Fantasy, some God of War, some GTA. Good stuff in here for sure. Very well balanced. Some Metal Slug, Ratchet and Clank. Tekken Dark Resurrection, I love that game. Virtua Tennis World Tour as well as Virtua Tennis 3. We even got WWE All-Stars at the bottom, which is a fun one. So backing out, we have PS3 next. 11 games in PS3. And we've got Batman Arkham Asylum, Bioshock 2, COD 4. We've got GTA San Andreas as well as the complete edition of GTA 4. Mass Effect 2, Metal Gear Solid, Ratchet & Clank, Street Fighter 4, Uncharted 2 and 3. So good offering here for sure. And then PS Vita to close us out with 9 games. PS Vita has Age of Zombies. We've got some Formula 1 in here, some Mortal Kombat, Ninja Senki DX. Sweet. And that is everything that's included on here. So we got to check this out a little bit further. We got to dive in and test out some games, see what the experience is like when playing on here, of course. Let's dive into it.
free. Secure. Hold your fire. Gaz, stay at the berg till we secure the deck. Over. Roger that. Squad, on me. Stairs, clear. Always clear.
All right, guys, we jumped into this plug-and-play 500 GB hard drive right here, running Batacera, over 14,000 games at our fingertips here, and it comes in the enclosure ready to go. It's a nice enclosure, very easy to use. Type-C cable gets plugged into the actual hard drive side, and then USB-A here is going to plug into the PC of your choosing. Now, when you fire this up on a PC, you do have to change your boot order to actually tell your computer to boot into this rather than your internal hard drive or SSD. Once you do that, though, you see exactly what the experience is like on here. It's laid out very well. You can find things effectively. There are duplicates in certain collections, like Super Nintendo was over the top, but the majority of these were actually laid out pretty nicely. No video previews in any of the scraped data here. That's because they're working with a limited capacity hard drive. So in order to save space, they didn't put video previews in. I love video previews, but I get why they chose not to do that. All the collections, with the exception of PS2, worked without any issues. Now, PS2, none of the games launch. I don't know why that is. I went into the emulators. I tried to tweak some settings. I checked the ROMs. It's the right ROM type. It's just something is wrong here where PS2 does not launch. I don't know what's going on there. It has nothing to do with the specs on my gaming PC. I got into PS3 without issues. I got into Xbox, GameCube, etc. So Wii U and Switch as well. So everything else ran perfectly. The games that are listed all run from my experience. I didn't check all 14,000 games, but I did jump around here. I tried way more than I showed you guys here in this video demo section. So in my experience, it was very good. And we got to remember here, guys, the price point is just $35 at the time of this recording. So honestly, as frustrated as I am that PS2 doesn't work, at 35 bucks, there's still a lot of value on here. Switch alone, I mean, if you want to play, Super Mario Wonder, for example, that game right there is more expensive than the entire setup here today. So there's definitely still value here. I'm not crazy about the layout. I'm not crazy about the games that are included here, but I would use this as a base, right? If I want to get into Batacera, then maybe I use this just purely for the ROMs. Or maybe I bring this over to a 1 terabyte and then I start building from there. I can easily remove, the issues on here. I can get rid of PS2 altogether, load my own PS2 ROMs and collections in there. So it definitely could be a base for somebody that's looking to get into emulation and maybe start creating their own sort of setup here. I definitely think at 35 bucks, it's worth the price as long as it has what you're looking for. So that's what it boils down to at the end of the day. Let me know in the comments, though, what you guys thought about what you saw here with this Batacera setup. That's going to do it for today, guys. To learn more about the product, click the link in the description of this video. That's going to do it. Thank you for your support. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys